Oh, wow. Hi, guys. Good evening, good evening, good evening. It's Real Women, Real Stories. Good evening, everybody. I'm just waiting for everyone to come on board. There's quite a few of you joining us, trying out a new filter, guys. Hope I look good. Hope I look good. Yeah, so hi, Donna. Hi, D. D's always here. Thanks for all the likes and always joining us, guys, and support, especially. And then most importantly, Nashreen. Hi, Nashreen. Good evening, Bims. Thanks for joining us. We're just going to wait for a few more of you guys to join us. Tonight's topic is super, super interesting. Something I've never heard of until a few months ago or a few weeks ago even. Camray, thanks for joining. It's called MRKH. Yeah. And it's born without a uterus and in a vagina. It's almost unheard of. It's like, I think it's 1 in 5,000 or something like that. So it's going to be a very, very interesting topic and very interesting talk. Just as you're going to hear about it almost for the first time, and so am I. So I'm just going to wait for a few more of you guys. So, Anri, I'm going to accept you now. I think everyone's still getting the notification that we're gone live. And see what happens. Here we go. I've just been to a live. I've accepted you for the live. Real Women, Real Stories, guys. Hi, Anri. Thank you for
Hi,
joining.
thank you so
How
much.
are
Can you
you?
see me?
I can see you perfectly clear. Is
Perfect. I'm
everything
good.
fine?
Sorry, I just finished another meeting, so I look a bit like I'm not in my best, but that's okay.
It's absolutely fine. I'm going to be honest and say I've just used a filter because this phone is showing all my flaws. So, guys,
No,
I'm
look,
very honest. I will say it as it is. I've just used a filter. Okay, so it's Real Women, Real Stories. And this is once a month. We're going to have Real Women, Real Stories where women get to talk about, what they're dealing with through infertility and the different challenges there are in fertility, and whether it be a story with a happy ending, or whether just be you just being able to talk about what it is that you're going through and what you're dealing with. Maybe it's something that there are other women out there that also wants to talk about it, but they can't. And maybe there's some advice that you can give another person dealing with the same thing. And that's what we're all here to support each other, educate each other as well with some of the talks. So this is something that is like, I've never obviously done a talk like this where it comes to MRKH, never heard about it. It's so like new, absolutely new. And
Unique.
I think there's so many that actually want to hear about it. So thank you
Mm.
very much for doing this. Thanks so, so much for doing this, taking time out to do this. And I don't know your feeling with regards to like how, first of all, tell us where you're from, what it is that you suffer from and stuff, but then also what made you decide to come out and talk about it? Because I mean, it must be something very hard to talk about, or you're
Mm.
feeling,
Yeah, okay, so I'm Anri Labuschagne. I'm currently in Pretoria. I study at Potch University. I'm finishing my law degree this year. So I was diagnosed with MRKH. You actually call it Mayer-Rokitansky-Kuster-Hauser syndrome. Luckily, it's MRKH for short because I don't even know how to
yeah.
spell that. But yeah, so I was diagnosed with that syndrome when I was 20 years old, so 5 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, 4 years ago, five. Okay, none of me are there. But yeah, so I was diagnosed with that. At first, I never really, like, I'm just going to be brutally honest, but I never got my period or anything in that way. I never had anything like that. And obviously, like my gynecologist or my doctor said to me when they took my appendix out, he said to me, like, don't worry, you'll get it when you're 18. Come back if you haven't started your period when you're 18 years old. And then I said, okay. And then eventually, I've just like, it just slipped my mind and I moved to Potch and started studying. And then, I had like my first relationship, like proper relationship And in the back of my head, I always felt like something wasn't right, like something wasn't like right there, just because I haven't started my period. You know, all my friends, both my sisters have started their periods. And then yeah, like I just said to my mom, okay, well, I think I do need to go see a doctor. And then when I was in Belito, I said to, like, I had like an infection, or they said I had an infection, but I said, okay, I'm gonna go to the doctor. And then I went to a general practitioner, and he asked me if I've ever had sex, or if I've ever like been sexually active or anything like that. And I said to him, no, I have not. Like, I haven't done anything like that. And he said to me, yeah, but we think you might have an STD. I was like,
Wow.
what? I don't have an STD, but okay. But then they tried to do like a test, because obviously they do like a swab, but the general practitioner. And then he just looked at me weirdly while he was doing the like trying to swab something. And then he said to me, I think you need to go see a gynecologist. And I said, okay. Like, this is me, 20-year-old, you know, have never like had sex or anything in that line. First time going to a gynecologist. And I should just mention, my parents are not in the country. They live in Zambia. So my mom wasn't even with me. Like, it was quite traumatizing, to be honest.
Yeah.
But so then I went to the gynecologist there, and she she tried to do like a pelvic exam, and then she also didn't say anything. Then she said I must do an MRI scan, and then I did an MRI scan, and then she came back with the results, and she said, no, you need to go do more blood tests, because something in your MRI scan doesn't make sense. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay. And then
And this is you at 20 trying to like, okay, something's not wrong, something's not right, but like,
yeah,
and all on your
no one's
own trying to
telling
figure
me.
out. Yeah, because
Yeah,
they more confused than what you were, I think.
no, definitely. And then my sister, luckily both my sisters were there with me. Oh, well, my one sister was there when I saw that gynecologist. And then yeah, what happened? Then she said to me, like, after she looked at my MRI scan, she said, no, you have like a right horn. And I was so bad, like, she just sees like a right horn on my uterus area. She can't see my uterus, but she can see like a right horn. So that's like when one fallopian tube with the ovaries is there and the other ones aren't there. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so naturally I was very confused and upset already, being told that they can't see a uterus. And then I just went back to studies, because I was on holiday there. And then I went back home when university started again. And then my mom, like, I was just very confused. It was like 2 weeks of just like complete confusion. I don't know how to explain that, but I was just like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was not there. My mind was everywhere, and like I was like struggling to figure out what was wrong with me. And then my mom actually phoned me, and she said to me, listen, like, I think her motherly instinct kicked in, and she was like, go see the gynecologist that I was at when I was younger. And luckily he only lived like half an hour away. So I said to him, okay. So I said to her, okay. So my sisters and I went to him, and it wasn't even like 2 minutes, and he said to me, you've got MRKH syndrome. After he like did an exam, he's like, you've got MRKH syndrome. And I'm like, what? I don't know what that
What?
is.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and he explained to me, listen, like, you don't have an internal part of like your vagina, and you don't have a uterus. And I was like, what? That exists? I didn't know something like that,
Yeah, yeah.
actually is something. So yeah, apparently it exists. And then yeah, I was very, like, I was completely devastated, obviously. And then it was probably like 2 weeks. My parents said to me, obviously they were not in the country, so my mom phones me and she's like, do not go on the internet. We will try look for research and we will tell you what it is. And
Wow.
also the gynecologist said to me, I will send you to a specialist so that they can so that he can take it further, because I can't help you. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay. Like, now this specialist was situated in Pretoria. So I was just very confused for like a month. It was a month. Yes, it was a month. And then
So,
I made, yeah, sorry.
sorry, I think one of the questions that everybody is probably thinking like, or they're saying to themselves watching this, they're like, did you not, was there at no point did you know? So okay, I'm going to be very, we all women,
Yeah.
we talking about reproductive systems and everything. Um,
Mm.
how did you at no point know that there wasn't an opening? So there's an opening, or is there no opening at all?
There was no opening at all. So naturally, like when you're young, you would like just, I'm just gonna say it, like you masturbate and
Yes,
people
yes,
do all of those things. I just never had the need to, I would say. Like I don't know, I just never was like that. I just never, I don't know, it
yeah,
wasn't that it was frowned upon or anything like that. I mean, I was like, I'm a very open and honest person now. But
yeah,
I just never had that. Like, I never had the need to do that.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, and then I just never thought much
Or I
about
mean,
it.
or
And
in school, you just thought, okay, that's normal. So
yeah,
somebody asking, please save the lives, guys. The lives are saved. You can watch it all over on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram afterwards. Um, but I mean, you just never ever, sorry.
no,
Um,
it's
it's just
okay.
that you never ever thought that, okay, but that doesn't feel right, or never had the need to. You're just like, that doesn't,
I
no.
just never thought about it. Like I just didn't like. Obviously, I knew what sex was. Like I was,
Yes.
I knew all of that. I just never knew what was happening to me. Like I could tell
Yeah.
my mom, I'm probably really blonde. Like this, just I don't know. I was very confused myself. But yeah, so I just knew. To be honest with you, and a lot of girls that I've like, not a lot of girls, but the girls that actually do get diagnosed with this, they also don't know. Like you
Yeah.
have no idea that the syndrome exists.
Yeah.
Like you don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
so I went to the a specialist here in Pretoria, and he did my blood test, and they do a chromosome test to see if you're actually like a female or if you have male an XY or an
Yeah.
XX. I
Yeah.
think it's X chromosome, yeah. So
Yes.
they see if you have the XY chromosome, the female chromosome. Sorry, I'm not a doctor. But yeah, they check if you're actually like a female,
Yeah.
or if you have the female chromosome, so that they can see how your estrogen levels. So they do all of the blood work and to see where your hormone levels are and everything like that. And obviously, all girls that are diagnosed with MRKH are females. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, we all have the same, like still have all the female chromosomes and everything. And then yeah, he said to me, listen, we can do this. It's called a neo-vagina surgery. He's a specialist in that field. So he does it. He works with ladies like me for a long time, or he has for a long
Yeah.
time. Yeah. So then, yeah, they scheduled my surgery, and I had like my surgery done in that December in 2019. Yeah, 2019, I think. Yeah. So sorry, my timing is very off sometimes. Um,
Good.
but yeah, so yeah, then I had my surgery. So they basically like just put like they take like a muscle from like your intestine, or they can take it from your knee or anything like, and then they just basically build you a vagina, and that is
Wow.
what they do. Yeah. So you can still have like a normal sex life, and so that you can still have everything feel normal, and apart from the fact that you don't get your period, you don't have a uterus, so you can never get children, like you can never become pregnant. Although you still have functioning ovaries, so you can do surrogacy, you can adopt, there are those options as well. But yeah, that was like just, cutting it very short. But yeah,
Yeah.
so it's a very traumatic surgery, I would say.
I
But
can
not a lot of
imagine.
girls, like some girls have like a dimple. The doctors call it a dimple, where you have like a little part of a vagina, so
Yeah.
you can dilate that little part of your vagina. But I didn't have that, so I never had anything down there. And
Yeah.
then type 1 females do have that little vaginal opening, like the little dimple. So they give you the option to dilate with that. So then if you
Yeah.
have that little vaginal dimple, that you dilate. So basically a dilator is what they push, you can put, it's like a medical, I just said medical dildo, but it's
Yeah.
actually, it's very like, it's a very professional type of, it's for medical reasons. So,
Yes.
you put that in and then it stretches your vaginal muscle and keeps it open. So most of the girls with type 1 are diagnosed with that. And yeah, with my situation, obviously when you don't have anything, they have to make something.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is get very short
Wow.
with that story.
Yeah, but
Um,
I mean
but
that is a hectic story. I mean, it sounds very traumatic. At a young age that you have to
I'm
deal
so
with
sorry
that.
about that.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
I usually have my dogs barking in the background, so that's no
Okay.
problem. So, yeah, that sounds so traumatic to have to hear something like that. And it's for me, it's like it's two diagnoses. Am I right? Am I wrong? Because you're being diagnosed that you don't have a uterus, and then you're being
Mm,
diagnosed that you don't have the inner part of your
mm,
vagina as well. So, I
yeah.
mean, that is you like, yeah, it's I think it's a lot. It's a lot to actually digest when you're that young. If
Yeah,
I
for a
may ask,
20-year-old.
yeah, if you're 20-year-old, exactly. If I may ask,
Mm.
what is your plans going forward? Are you busy? Have you finished your surgery? Are there more surgeries planned for you?
Oh no, luckily I'm finished now.
Okay.
My recovery, like I had one surgery. They did do like 3 years after my surgery now last year. They did remove my stitches and everything. So, because some of them don't, they take 3 years to you know,
Yeah.
help and become effective. And so, yeah, I'm just gonna say that, but yeah, so that's basically, so they just took out the remaining stitches, and then yeah, that's now I'm waiting. Until I'm married or whenever I'm ready to, do surrogacy or adoption or, I know in other countries they do have uterus transplants. So in the
Yes.
UK and America, and so they do have uterus transplant programs. So I have been,
Wow.
and a lot of the international MRKH ladies that I've dealt with, I know one lady, she's busy going through the transplant process now. So she's almost at her uterus transplant procedure date. So so I one day hoping, like in a way I do hope that I can do that, but in South Africa, unfortunately, it's not our reality here. We can't do that here because
Yes.
they don't
Yes.
have a program. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, like adoption and surrogacy. Surrogacy is for now my first option. So that is what I'm looking
Yeah.
into. Well, I've been thinking about it a lot now. The older I get. So yeah,
Yeah.
that is the next step for me in that direction. And then
Okay.
in like an advocacy direction, I would say we started MRKH South Africa,
Yeah.
which is the plan is to turn it into an NPO, and to raise awareness, educate, and help ladies who are diagnosed, because
Yeah.
I mean, it happens in 1 in 5,000 ladies. So that's not a lot of people. That's not a lot of women. So the little bit that we are, the little group that we are, we would
Yes.
like to make a little bit of a change in our country and to just raise more awareness for our syndrome. So that's the goal at the end
Wow.
of the day, yes.
'Cause it makes you think how many women are out there that actually don't even know that they have this syndrome.
Mm,
Because they might not be able to go to a guy and you can see a guy and they're just like, I haven't gotten my period and stuff. But
mm,
not going any further or doing anything about it. So it's quite something, and so something amazing that you're doing. Um,
thank
so
you.
so yeah, Andre's got a page, MRKH South Africa. You can go over and like it and follow it and read more about it. And if you're dealing with it, you can also get in contact with her.
Yes, please
So
do.
yeah, so thank you very much for sharing your story. I don't know if there's anything else that you'd like to say with regarding, what is the first steps that women can do if they've been diagnosed with MRKH, where do they go? What do they do? Who do they speak to?
So most of the doctors do have specialists that they know of, but since we made the MRKH South Africa website, we are collecting a database of doctors and specialists that you can contact if you have this problem, or if you have a problem, if you are diagnosed with MRKH. So when you find out, most doctors would like refer you to another specialist. But we are busy putting a directory on our website of doctors, and doctors who are busy. We are in the process of collecting, like getting doctors to collaborate with us and to get them more involved. So there will be like a set. The aim is to make a set of specialists where you can go to. And then, just know that you're strong and we are here for you. You're definitely not alone, not like I thought I was when I was diagnosed. So there are other women out there that have MRKH, and we are a group of like 23 girls already. So it's something that's common, but it's not. I mean, it's something that's not common, but also common. Like when I was diagnosed MRKH, my eyes kind of opened and I realized, listen, like I'm not the only one. Yeah. And there's so many international groups that are supporting you and that are also there for you, and who know that MRKH South Africa is there. So if you reach out to an international place, they will tell you to come to us. And we do Zoom calls. We support the women that are diagnosed, and we do anything for them. So yes, please, if you know someone who has MRKH, please don't hesitate to contact us, and we can help. And that's
you're getting a lot of love here and likes here, and it's so amazing that you're doing this. If I've got one more question for you, is it something, I don't know if you know, but or if you've been told or spoken to about it, is it something that is hereditary? Like, I mean, because you've got two other sisters, but do they have any form of it or anything?
No, they don't. There is a geneticist in America that is, I know her quite well. She's busy doing her study on it. So they are trying to find information on it and trying to learn more about it. And so they can actually give us all an answer, because I also want to know personally for when I have children. I don't want to, put them through this. Yeah. I do know, like on our Facebook support groups, some twins get it. Both the twins, if the twins are born, both of them have MRKH. So hopefully, I don't hope. Oh, sorry. I do apologize.
No way.
So yes, I do. I don't hope that it is a genetic thing, because a really traumatizing thing. You don't want to put yourself through that. Like, I mean, you don't want to get diagnosed with MRKH. It's not fun. But you do become stronger at the end of the day because you have MRKH. So it's a very difficult journey, but you become stronger at the end of the day. And hope it's not genetic, but there are people who are working on it and hoping that they can give us an answer anytime soon would be great. If anyone else knows about people like that, please do tell us.
And I'm just thinking that in this situation, it's also very important to have a good somewhere to lean on, and also especially if you've got a partner that also understands, because I know you do have a partner and he understands, obviously.
Oh yes, he's the best person ever. Yes, he just, I mean, I told him when we became friends, like I just instantly knew that I had to tell him, and that I was like, there was this connection there. And I mean, he didn't even judge me. He literally went and, did his own research on it eventually. And he, he came back to me and he said, this doesn't change the way that I still like you. It doesn't change the way I see you. It doesn't change the way I think of you. He's he's amazing. He's probably one of the reasons why I'm so strong. If it wasn't for him and my family, I don't think I would have ever been able to come into the advocacy of it, and to actually help other women. So yeah, he has probably been my rock for the past couple of months. Well, we've actually been dating a year. Tomorrow we'll be dating a year. So since then, we've been together for a year now. So yeah, he has been absolutely amazing. And I just like, if there's anyone watching that has MRKH, I just want to say, like, there are people who accept you the way that you are, and they love you unconditionally, and that's very
Oh, that's
important because
awesome.
yeah.
That's awesome. I just got someone saying that they can't hear us. I don't know if it's you or me, but I think everyone can hear. If anyone else that can't hear me, please let me know, because I think that people are answering here, so it shows that they can hear us. Um, but yeah, I think it's. I think Rian, I think you just need to put your sound up on your phone. But yeah, thank you very much for taking this time out, Andy. Speaking to
No
us.
problem.
Okay, there's someone said they can hear fine. Rian, I think you need to just put your sound up. If there's anyone out there that's got a real women, real story that you want to talk to us about, please get in contact me. Email info@fertilitysolutions.co.za. We do these talks to let women out there know that they are not alone. When I was diagnosed with PCOS and dealing with infertility, I thought I was alone. I thought I'm the only one. I thought I need to keep quiet and can't tell anybody about it because it's something I need to be ashamed of. And it's really not something to be ashamed of at all. There are so many women out there, and the more you tell your story, you could be inspiring the next person, and you could be helping that person going through infertility. I mean, this is also a form of infertility. It's not MRKH. Is not just it's a disease and that's it. It's like it is infertility as well. So speak about it, talk to us, come join us, help inspire another woman out there and let them know that they're not alone, that there is a support structure. It's very hard to talk to someone else that is not dealing with it, but when you're on a platform that is women that is been there, done that, going through the
Got
same
the
thing, and
t-shirt.
exactly, got the t-shirt, exactly.
Yeah.
So we all help each other. So please get in contact with me, tell your story, whether or not it's ended in having your baby or not having a baby yet and still going through it and you just want to talk to someone, please email us. Again, thank you very much, Anri, for telling your story. It's very brave of you to come out and tell your story
Thank you.
about
I
it. And,
appreciate
and I
that.
wish you all the best with your
Thank
nonprofit,
you.
that you'll help a lot of women out there, especially medically, where they, get them to the right places. So have a great evening and
Thank you
thank you
so
again.
much. You too. Thank
It's
you
a
so much
pleasure.
for you. If it wasn't for your amazing page, I would not be here. But
Awesome.
thank you.
Thank you.
You really make something amazing.
Thank you very much, Anri. Have a good evening. And I'll see you
You
guys
too.
soon. Bye.
Okay, great. Bye.